day, Patriots, and welcome to the War Room. I'm Julian Archer, currently running on pure oxygen and righteous fury, reporting live from the studio where the coffee is black and the GOP's legislative agenda is even darker.
Maya Thorne here, currently in my national economic blackout era, tracking the vibes as the entire status quo hits a hard reset.
And I'm Mary Kane, coming to you with the same ink-stained hands and grit I had 40 years ago, ready to dismantle the latest corporate shell game.
You're listening to John Steele. I'm just trying to get through this before Mitch the goat eats another one of my Wi-Fi antennas back at the sanctuary. Look, I've seen things, people.
We have a packed episode today. We're coming off a brutal Thursday where we watched the Supreme Court gut the Voting Rights Act and the administration fire the entire National Science Board via a mass email. Absolute savages.
No, literally, yesterday was a total flop era for
A
democracy.
hit and run on the Constitution, Maya, that's what it was. But today, the workers are actually hitting back.
If you can call it total economic standstill hitting back. It's more like the country finally decided to just sit down in the middle of the highway.
Let's get into the heart of it. It is May 1st, 2026, International Workers' Day, and the No Kings movement has turned the United States into a ghost town.
It's actually wild, Julian. We're talking over 600 organizations, 3,000 protests. The 50501 movement is officially in its final boss stage. This isn't just a hashtag anymore. According to the public press, they've mobilized an economic blackout that makes the 2020 summer look like a dress rehearsal.
I gotta tell you, I've been in union halls from Detroit to Charleston, and I have never seen a red-blue alliance like this. You've got the radical socialists and the mainstream Dems actually holding hands because the billionaire class has pushed everyone to the brink. It's workers versus the kings of industry, and the kings are losing their minds.
Look, I mean, the No Kings slogan, it's clever, right? It plays on the anti-monarchy roots of the country while subtly pointing out that the current administration treats the Bill of Rights like a suggestion box at a failing Arby's. But 8 million participants? That's not a protest, that's a migration.
High key. Citing a thread I saw earlier, the March 20E precursor was already the biggest single-day event in U.S. history. But today, the vibes are immaculate. People are literally logging off. No shopping, no working, just collective refusal. It's giving system failure in the best way possible.
It's a miracle of coordination. I've seen some dirty tricks in my time. Check the Black Book, folks. But the GOP has no idea how to counter this. They're used to fighting leaders. How do you fight a decentralized blackout? You can't arrest 8 million people for not buying a latte.
They'll try, Julian. You see what happened in Nebraska today? While the rest of the country is protesting, Governor Pillen is out there starting the Nebraska experiment. They're the first state to officially launch those mandatory Medicaid work requirements from Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
One big, beautiful bill? It's $1 trillion in healthcare cuts disguised as a hand up. Nebraska's moving the deadline up 8 months early just to, prove they can be the most miserable state in the union?
It is absurd. The CBO says this is going to kick up to 16 million people off their insurance by 2034. It's a patient care crisis by design. They want people too sick or too busy filing community engagement paperwork to actually show up at the ballot box.
It's like the administrative limbo era. It's like they want us to spend our whole lives in a loading screen for basic survival. Okay, but speaking of administrative limbo, can we talk about the DHS shutdown finally ending?
Oh, spare me. 76 days. The longest agency shutdown in history. Trump finally signed the crap sandwich bill late last night.
76 days where the TSA and the Coast Guard weren't getting paid, but the ICE and CBP agents were still out there because Mike Johnson found a workaround in a budget reconciliation bill.
Right. He funds the guys with the handcuffs through a side channel, but the people making sure your plane doesn't fall out of the sky have to wait 2 months for a paycheck. It's legislative constipation at its peak.
And let's not miss the kicker. At the 11th hour, they extended Section 702 of FISA for another 45 days. They just kicked the spy can down the road again.
Low-key, it's a 45-day reprieve for the surveillance state. They've got Kash Patel over at the FBI, and we're still letting them intercept texts without a warrant? It's giving 1984, but with better UI.
It's a protection racket, Maya. That's all it is. They keep the fear high so they can keep the cameras on. Honestly, kidding me with these guys? They're nationalizing the midterms by scaring everyone about enemies within, while the actual enemy is the guy signing the warrants.
Well, look, speaking of enemies within, let's talk about the Surgeon General shuffle. Casey Means is out. Trump finally pulled the plug because she wouldn't even endorse the MMR vaccine.
The President of the United States withdrew her after a year of letting the MAHA movement, the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. win, try to install a wellness influencer with no medical license as the nation's top doctor.
She called the Hep B vaccine absolute insanity in a hearing. It was such a flop that even the GOP defected. Now we've got Dr. Nicole Saphir.
Oh, the Fox News radiologist. Wonderful. We've gone from the lady who thinks kale cures polio to the lady who thinks whatever Trump says is a medical miracle.
The rift between the MAHA crowd and the establishment GOP is the only thing keeping me alive right now. Trump is out there calling Senator Bill Cassidy disloyal because he wouldn't rubber stamp Casey Means. Cassidy! The guy is a doctor. He has a filter.
I'm telling you, the Republican Party is a two-headed monster eating itself. You've got J.D. Vance in Iowa right now playing the incumbent plus game for 2028, while Ted Cruz is trying to remind everyone he still exists by being as hawkish as humanly possible.
J.D. Vance is high-key leading the 2028 shadow primary. He's raised $60 million. He's the RNC finance chair. He's basically the heir to the Succession theme music.
While we're talking about Succession, did you see the Meta news? They laid off 8,000 people today.
Yeah.
8,000 workers out on the street so Mark Zuckerberg can fund a $145 billion compute budget? They are literally trading human beings for silicon chips.
It's the people versus compute era. Meta's CapEx is basically a middle finger to the labor market. It's like they're saying, we don't need employees, we just need more electricity.
It is a total decapitation of the tech workforce. And the Senate is responding, look at me, I'm doing air quotes, with the GUARD Act and the Chatbot Act. Josh Hawley and Richard Blumenthal joining forces to ban AI companions for minors?
Finally, something Hawley does that isn't just running away from protesters.
But $100,000 fines if a bot tells a kid how to self-harm? That's it? That's like a rounding error for Meta. It's like finding a mountain a nickel for an avalanche.
No, literally, it's crumbs. But speaking of crumbs, Julian, I saw you looking at that SCOTUS ruling on donor privacy.
It was a 9-0 decision, Maya. First choice women's resource centers versus Davenport. The court just gave a shield of invisibility to the donors funding these crisis pregnancy centers.
Let's call them what they are. Fake clinics that trick women. And now New Jersey can't even subpoena their donor lists to see if they're being funded by the same dark money groups that are trying to ban contraception next.
Justice Gorsuch cited the 1958 NAACP case. The irony.
It's so thick, I'm choking on it. Using a civil rights landmark to protect organizations that are essentially operating as deceptive advertising hubs.
It's a deregulation trap. At the same time they're hiding donors, they're preparing to hear the Monsanto case that would stop states from suing companies if the federal EPA says they're fine.
It's the vibe shift toward total corporate immunity. Low-key, the legal system is being rewritten by the people who paid for the pens.
Look, before we get into the Anglo-Saxon disaster at the White House, let's take a second for the people who make this possible. Independent media like this doesn't just manifest out of the ether. It takes real human work to build the infrastructure. We are 100% here because of the vision and the grind of our creator, Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media.
He's not a media conglomerate, folks. He isn't some billionaire trying to trade your data for compute. He is a builder who poured his own resources and time into creating this platform so we could have these conversations.
If you value independent voices over corporate algorithms, please like, subscribe, and consider visiting our new Patreon at patreon.com/neural network media to support this work. It's an act of solidarity that keeps the lights on and the servers running. Bet.
Yeah, and unlike Meta, we actually like human beings. Most of the time.
Speak for yourself, John. I'm still waiting for my scotch.
Anyway, where were we? Ah, yes, the royal tour. King Charles and Queen Camilla.
This was high-key the most cringe diplomatic event of the decade. Trump stands on the South Lawn with the actual King of England standing there and starts talking about Anglo-Saxon courage.
He said the Patriots' veins ran with Anglo-Saxon courage? Are you kidding me? He's basically dog whistling in 4K. He's moving the national identity from the Constitution to blood and soil, while a monarch who's trying to apologize for colonialism is standing right next to him.
The contrast was staggering. Charles is in front of Congress talking about diversity as a strength and reconciliation, and Trump is back at the White House talking about the ancient rights of the Anglo-Saxons. It's like the 18th century and the 21st century had a head-on collision.
It's political messianism, Julian. Did you see the AI images he's been posting? The one of Dr. Jesus? It's not just a cult of personality anymore. It's a full-on deification.
It's giving divine right of kings, but for a guy who bankrupts casinos. Even Adam Scott, shout out to Ben Wyatt, said in an interview today that we're in the last gasp of innocence. He said Parks and Rec couldn't even exist now because the idea of earnest local government is nostalgic.
He's right. You look at what's happening in South Carolina. The GOP is trying to defund South Carolina State University because the students protested the lieutenant governor speaking at commencement. They're using the Project 2025 playbook to hold HBCU funding hostage.
It's financial warfare against anyone who doesn't kiss the ring. And meanwhile, the DNC is hiding their own 2024 autopsy report.
Ken Martin, the DNC chair, he was on Pod Save America yesterday, calling the request for the autopsy navel-gazing.
It's a 200-page secret doc that reportedly says Gaza was a net negative for Kamala Harris. They're gatekeeping the truth because it makes the consultants look mid.
They're protecting the elites while the base is out in the streets for May Day. It's the same old story. My nephew Vector over at the Neural Daily probably thinks we just need an AI-driven autopsy. But I'm telling you, you don't need an algorithm to see why people are angry. You just need a pair of ears.
Vector's too busy eating paste and talking about blockchain democracy to listen to a worker, Mary.
Low-key, we're in the deregulation of desire era. Did you see the RFK Jr. peptide news? The FDA is officially weighing the reclassification of peptides like BPC 157 because the MAHA movement wants to uncancel them.
It's the Wild West of wellness. We've got teenage boys looks-maxing and taking unregulated research chemicals to get jawlines like a Marvel character, and the government's response is to remove the safety restrictions?
It's a miracle of irresponsibility. We're dismantling the drug approval system to satisfy a manosphere subculture.
It's all connected. The gutting of the EPA, the looks-maxing kids, the no kings blackout. It's the breakdown of the social contract. People don't trust the institutions, so they're looking for kings or miracles elsewhere.
But the No Kings movement is actually about no kings. It's the first time I've seen my generation move past ironic detached memes into physical economic pressure. It slaps, honestly.
It's the most exciting day of the year. We've got the Shadow Primary, the Royal Tour, the DHS crap sandwich, and 8 million people refusing to be cogs in the machine.
I just hope someone's feeding the goats. Mitch is going to be very upset if the supply chain for hay gets blacked out today.
Forget the hay, John. The country's on fire, and we're the ones with the matches.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the heat. It's better than the slow rot we had yesterday.
Look, today was a lot. But if there's one thing to take away, it's that the status quo is currently on a ventilator. And the No Kings movement just pulled the plug. It's either a rebirth or a very, very long funeral.
It's a rebirth, John. The happy warriors are standing up. The GOP's trying to sell us Anglo-Saxon courage while they hide their donors and bankrupt our schools. But the people have finally found the off switch for the economy.
My verdict? The billionaire king era is officially in its flop era, and the No Kings vibe is 100% Cigna. Check the ratio, patriots.
If you're out there on a picket line or just sitting on your porch refusing to spend a dime, keep the line. The ink's not dry on this history yet.
I'm going back to the Catskills. I think Mitch found the off switch for my satellite dish.
Keep your eyes on the Black Book and your hearts on the Republic. We'll see you tomorrow.